This is The Road to Revolution by Joseph and Zach. The French and Indian War was a war that the British fought against the Indians and the French. It was also called the 7-Year War. The British won this war, but if they didn't, America wouldn't be America, and all the other events afterwards would be completely different because the French would have been doing different things than the British would have. The attack on Fort Necessity was what started the French and Indian War. George Washington's fort, Fort Necessity, was attacked, starting the war. The Proclamation of 1763 was a proclamation which caused the start of tensions between British lawmakers and the colonists. The proclamation prevented people from going past the Appalachian Mountains to lead attention away from disturbing Indians, which the war was very costly, and this is the start of them trying to get the money back for paying for soldiers in the war. The Sugar Act was the first act to raise money in the colonies to pay for the war. Instead of increasing prices overall, it just increased the amount of tax on the sugar and molasses syrup, which made all the colonists very mad because they don't want to pay money. The Stamp Act was an act that didn't tax stamps, but all or most paper products. Things like playing cards, legal documents, etc. were taxed. And this made colonists even more angry than before because people bought paper often. It was like used for playing cards and stuff. And it led them to have a protest. Because the Stamp Act made it nearly impossible to avoid paying taxes because it was on most / all paper products, the colonists rebelled against the law and eventually got it repealed like the rest. But this law was one of the many that helped unify them against the British. The Boston Massacre was an event where civilians who started throwing snowballs at soldiers were then shot by the soldiers and killed. This caused lots of hate and anger towards the British, and there was even a famous wood carving of it made that you might have seen somewhere in social studies class. Wink. It was a very gruesome event that sparked lots of tension. The Tea Act was an act that led to the taxation of tea, which did not do much to help the colonists at all. It made them hate the British government even more than before. Britain never learned its lesson from this, and this led to the Tea Act, and people actually would smuggle tea in to avoid buying the British tea because it created a monopoly, and other people feared their jobs would be taken if by the British making a monopoly, which is one person owns all of it, then can increase the prices as much as they want. The Boston Tea Party was an event that occurred due to the Tea Act. A bunch of colonists snuck on to a tea ship and threw the tea overboard into the harbor. This led to the Intolerable Acts because the king got really angry because they wasted like around $2 million of tea. And with inflation, $2 million would be a lot today. Probably around many million, way more than two. Although it somehow made colonists even more angry that they were getting revenge. But the Intolerable Acts really burst the line and then led to a event of great proportions. The Intolerable Act was an act that did many things. It made the colonists, first of all, very, very angry. It stationed troops in every house to keep everyone in line. It closed down the Boston Harbor, meaning it was pretty much impossible to get anything from overseas, from different places. And it also meant nobody, if their job was running to sailing, nobody could actually go sell their things or buy anything, get anything bought from them, pretty much putting them out of business until the embargo was over. This then led to the great event. From rising tensions and great anger among the colonists, who decided to rebel. The Intolerable Acts, as stated, shut down the harbor and stationed troops in people's houses, which then led to the Revolution. Bum bum bum.